The Dallas Mavericks have a serious problem, and although it is a good problem to have, it is one that will need to be addressed down the road. And after last night's win over the San Antonio Spurs, there was a lot of good things that we saw. We had Klay Thompson putting all doubt to rest that he's washed. He had Kyrie Irving looking like mid-season Kyrie, Ramadan Kyrie, ready and locked in. He had Luka Doncic, who had a pretty rough start to the game, but he finished very well. But also our centers, Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford, both had an amazing game last night. As Daniel Gafford was our starting center, Derrick Lively had a double-double off the bench. And the question that everyone is asking is, who should be our starting center? So in this video, we're going to take a look at both of our centers, Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford, really take a look at what they did last night, good, what they could improve on, and who should be our starting center moving forward. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 13,808 subscribers. We're inching our way to that goal of 15K. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, the live streams, the watch longs, the giveaways, the news vids, and everything else in between that we're doing here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But like I said, last night we got the dub. It was the first game of the season, our season opener, and it was against the San Antonio Spurs. And although the San Antonio Spurs aren't really a championship contending team, everybody talks about how great Victor Wembanyama is. They just got Chris Paul. They're going to be a problem down the road. In short, they could definitely be a problem down the road, but it wasn't last night, as our three-headed demon of Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, and Luka Doncic combined for 65 points. And again, the first half of the game, the offense was pretty rusty, as guys were just trying to get warmed up and really get a feel for the game, as well as playing with the new rotation and the new players. By the second half, it was all fixed. We dropped 40 points in the third quarter, and we ended up beating the Spurs by 11 points. And again, it's the San Antonio Spurs. They could very much well be another lottery pick team this year, and this upcoming game on Saturday against the Suns would be a more appropriate test for this Dallas Mavericks squad. But the one thing that we really want to focus on is our center position. Over the summer and preseason, Jason Kidd has said multiple times how Daniel Gafford and Derrick Lively have both been competing for that starting center position, showing Jason Kidd exactly what they can bring to this team, really bringing out that competitive spirit amongst them. And last night, it was elected that Daniel Gafford was the starting center, but before the game, Jason Kidd had this to say. Jason Kidd on Dallas center rotation of Gafford and Lively. He said, those two push each other in practice. They cheer for one another. They're the anchor of our defense. It's a beautiful thing to have. Both can start. One will start tonight and the other one will start at some point down the road. Kidd made it clear that both bigs will start games this season, and in my own opinion, it wouldn't surprise me if they really do split it down the middle, where one starts for 41 games and the other one also started for 41 games. I've said it many times on this channel that Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford are just 1A and 1B, two sides of the same coin, as Daniel Gafford, being in the league a little bit longer than Derrick Lively, a little bit more seasoned, a little bit more experience, is still growing, still developing. He's still going to get better for the Dallas Mavericks and for himself, as after we traded for him last season, he attempted to break Wilt Chamberlain's record twice, coming very close. But on the other hand, Derrick Lively really showed out in the playoffs, looking like one of the better centers in the entire playoffs as a rookie, having the second highest box plus minus out of any rookie in a playoff run. And last night, he continued that while dropping a double-double off the bench. And in many situations, he did outplay Victor Wembanyama. There was, of course, moments where Victor Wembanyama scored on Derrick Lively. When you're 7'5" with a 9'1" wingspan against an 18-foot wingspan, however long and tall he really is, it is somewhat easier to just lay the ball up off the glass because your head is at the rim. But there were also moments where Derrick Lively was able to box out, was able to push, shove, use his strength in his body to get Victor out of the paint. Also getting some steals on Victor. It wasn't really a matter of talent, but who was able to work harder. And Derrick Lively showed last night that it doesn't matter if he's up against the Rookie of the Year. It doesn't matter if he's up against players who are, I guess, unequivocally better than him. He is still going to outwork you, and he's going to out-hustle you. And I believe that Derrick Lively still wants that starting center position, and he will fight for it. But who should be our starting center? Well, let's take a look at how well they did last night and try to come up with an answer to that question. So last night, if we take a look at Daniel Gafford, last night as our starting center, he had 9 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, and of course helped us get the dub. And as your starting center, that is a modest stat line. I mean, with this Dallas Mavericks team, as deep as we are, as all the talent that we have, not everybody's going to just jump out the gym with the box score. Not everybody's going to put up a 30-point triple-double. I'd be surprised at Luka Doncic at his first 30-point triple-double whenever that may come. With this team having a third scorer in Klay Thompson, having more options off the bench, a better defense and a better offense, we're not going to win by one player doing it all. We're going to win through committee. And although Derrick Lively's stat line is still modest, it's fair, 9.6 rebounds. I'll gladly take that. And he also hit his free throws. I think he only missed like one. He did a lot of the things that was necessary. He was bullying down low in the paint. He was boxing out. He was playing good defense. And although Victor Wembanyama is a lot taller than Daniel Gafford, there were many moments where Sohan was also on Daniel Gafford, and Daniel Gafford had to really put on his landlord business and really bully down low to make a statement that I might be an inch or two shorter than your average center. That doesn't mean I'm not stronger than your average center. Daniel Gafford is a godsend for this team. He really helped us out last season. I truly believe he will take another step in his own development to help this team in this upcoming season. And the decision to make him a starting center doesn't mean that he's better than Derrick Lively. It just might mean this is the rotation that we need versus starting Derrick Lively. I don't think it's a slight. I don't think it's any disrespect. I think it's well within the needs of the team. And before I continue any further, in these upcoming games, we're going to see a real creative lineup and rotations from Jason Kidd, as he also, as a coach, is trying to figure out what is the best lineup. What lineup do I get the most out on offense? What's the best lineup that I get the most out of the defense, and how can I implement that in high-stake games when we're up against teams like the Boston Celtics, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or even the Oklahoma City Thunder? The top teams of the league are the teams where we need to know exactly who we're going to throw out there. And teams like the San Antonio Spurs, the Detroit Pistons, or the Washington Wizards, sure, start whoever you want. We're still trying to figure things out. But just continuing with Daniel Gafford, here's something that I found very interesting, and I want everybody to keep this in mind. This tweet saying it oftentimes gets lost in the shuffle of who should start at center, but Daniel Gafford should not be underappreciated. He's the type of center we have been wanting in the few years before Lively got drafted, and gives this Mavericks team a massive luxury of 48 minutes of starting center play. He's also improved his game since coming to Dallas, especially as a passer. The Wilt-esque streak from last year was not something that happens by accident, and like I said, he challenged that record twice. One time, sure, you were on a hot streak, but he almost did it again. We shouldn't get lost in the sauce of, oh, Derrick Lively looks just so much better than Daniel Gafford. His stat sheet's better than Daniel Gafford. He's young, he's developing, he needs the room to grow. We start Lively over Gafford and we trade Gafford. You really shouldn't be saying that. We should be lucky that we have someone like Daniel Gafford who can start or come off the bench, just like Derrick Lively who can start or come off the bench. Down the road, when players get older and retire, I truly do believe that although we do have Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson, it might be Derrick Lively who, again, down the road may be our second leading scorer right alongside Luka Doncic, our 1A and our 1B, the Batman to the Superman. But just continuing with the conversation, this right here saying Daniel Gafford on how dangerous him and Derrick Lively will be as a center duo this season. Daniel Gafford says, oh, very dangerous. You know, you got to stay healthy. We have to stay locked into just like our keys when it comes to the discipline of the communication that we have to have. We have to quarterback the defense. We just have to make sure, you know, we're the most too physical throughout the league. You know, it's just an everyday thing. You know, we come in, we make each other better on a day-to-day, we talk, we try to learn the game with each other as much as we possibly can. I don't know why that was hard to read, but I know what you mean, Daniel Gafford. He understands that it's a friendly competition amongst teammates, but it isn't a slight to anybody who starts over the other. But as long as they have that friendly competition, that only makes each other better. We know how great Derrick Lively is in the DHO, and the fact that DHO is built just perfectly for him, or maybe he's built perfectly for the DHO, that's how we get the most out of Derrick Lively. But also when we want to bang down low with just aggressive dunks and just forcefulness, that's what you get out of someone like Daniel Gafford. I think Derrick Lively could be more of a finesse player, where Derrick Lively could be more finesse, where Daniel Gafford is a little bit more physical and more just forceful, and that more so has to do with their frame and their style of play. But if we take a look at Derrick Lively, last night after the win, Derrick Lively, he had put up 15 points, shooting 6 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 11 rebounds with 4 being offensive rebounds. He had 6 assists with 1 steal and was a +5 in 27 minutes. He did end up playing more than Daniel Gafford. Double-double in dish and dimes in the season opener, which is amazing. One thing that we saw a lot from Derrick Lively last year that I assume we're going to see again this upcoming season is the way that Derrick Lively can pass in the short roll, where he always finds the open man. In some ways, it's reminiscent to that of Draymond Green, although I'm going to say right here now, I'd much rather have Derrick Lively than Draymond Green, but that's something that Klay Thompson is very familiar with. And we saw how Luka Doncic got Klay Thompson open dang near the entire game. We may see something where we start to use Derrick Lively at the high post, get it to Klay Thompson when he's wide open to generate more offense, where Luka Doncic hopefully can play more off ball. The options and the possibilities of using someone like Derrick Lively, who isn't just your traditional big, who is has more utility to his game, the possibilities are definitely endless. But just continuing with this, here's something that I found pretty interesting. The list of every player who has recorded at least 15, 11, and 5 in Mavs season's debut. Luka Doncic did it twice. Dirk did it once, and now Derrick Lively, definitely in good company. And like I said earlier, I truly believe that Derrick Lively can be that player that is right next to Luka Doncic. Obviously, we have Klay Thompson, we have Kyrie Irving, and you can argue maybe PJ or someone else might be before Derrick Lively in terms of scoring and who we go to. But down the road, when Luka's really hitting his prime and Derrick Lively's right before his, and I know it's weird to say Luka hitting his prime. We don't know if he hit his prime 2 years ago or if he's hitting it next year. Who really knows? But we do know that when players retire, when the team starts to get a little bit younger as older players retire and leave the team, Derrick Lively will be poised to be that right-hand man to Luka Doncic as we continue to build this dynasty, this franchise, and win games and stay competitive. And being in the company of Luka and Dirk in any record is a pretty good thing, especially when you're only 20 years old and your name is Derrick Lively. But just to wrap this up, Derrick Lively last night had 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. First career 15, 10, and 5 game. Joins Luka and Dennis Smith Jr. as the only players in team history to record at least 15, 10, 5 at 20 or younger. Tied career high in assists. Only center in Mavs history with multiple games of 6 assists. And obviously, we've seen Derrick Lively work out in practice with Tyson Chandler. I'd like to see him practice and work out with Dirk. Maybe I've always said that, of course, Derrick Lively learning from Tyson Chandler is amazing. Maybe he could be the baby Chandler. But there's some aspects of his game that could mimic that of Dirk. Not trying to say that he could be better than Dirk or he's just like Dirk, but obviously Derrick Lively is a sponge. Obviously, he's someone who can learn very fast. As we've seen in his rookie year, he went from someone who couldn't defend on the perimeter to someone that it don't matter who he's guarding, he's going to do a great job. He's going to stand right in front of him, and you're not going to blow past him that easily. He's someone that you can add more to his utility belt. You can add more to his bag. So learn all you can from Tyson Chandler, but I'd love to see Dirk get in the gym with someone like Derrick Lively and just keep adding to the bag. But the last thing that we are going to look at, I promise this is the last thing, is I had a little poll earlier today asking who should be our de facto starting center, Derrick Lively, Daniel Gafford, or it shouldn't matter. And I voted shouldn't matter. And I think that is the short answer of this long-winded conversation, is that it really shouldn't matter. We are blessed, we are lucky to have two great centers who really don't have an ego problem, that really push themselves, that push each other to be the better player, not just for themselves, but for the team. We have a championship on our minds. We have a goal of going back to the finals and winning the finals. And it doesn't matter who starts. It doesn't matter who ends the games. It's who is better suited for the situation. And Jason Kidd, a very smart coach, a great coach, knows what he needs to do, and Daniel Gafford and Derrick Lively both know what they need to do. But let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. I know some of you may have already voted on the poll, but do you think Daniel Gafford or Derrick Lively should start? Or just like me, do you think it doesn't matter? Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and we can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far into the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing our giveaways every single month, the first of the month. And the only way to enter our giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. But until next time, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.